Hello and welcome to this English class. I am so happy you are here today because we are going to master a topic that you will use every single day of your life. We are going to talk about your daily routine. Think about it. When you meet a new friend, when you go on a date, or when you have a job interview. This is the first thing people ask. They ask, what do you do every day, or what is your typical day like? By the end of this lesson, you will be able to describe your life from the moment you open your eyes in the morning until the moment you fall asleep at night. I will teach you the exact verbs, the idioms, and the natural phrases that native speakers use. We will not use textbook English today. We will use real English. Let us start at the very beginning of the day. The morning. There are two phrasal verbs that confuse almost every beginner. Those words are wake up and get up. Many students think these are the same, but they are different. Wake up is when your eyes open. Your brain starts working. You are no longer sleeping, but you are still in your bed. Get up is the action of physically leaving your bed and standing on the floor. For example, I usually wake up at 7 o'clock. But première me lève 7:30. That brings us to another important word. The snooze button. Do you use an alarm clock on your phone? When the alarm rings, you have two choices. You can stop it, or you can hit snooze. Hitting snooze means you silence the alarm for 5 or 10 minutes so you can sleep a little bit longer. Be honest with me. How many times do you hit snooze? I usually hit it twice. After you finally get up, you probably go to the bathroom. We have a phrase for everything you do in the bathroom and bedroom. We call it getting ready. If someone asks you what you did this morning, you do not need to list every detail. You do not need to say, I brushed my teeth, and then I washed my face, and then I combed my hair. You can simply say, I got ready. This one phrase covers everything. It implies you showered, dressed, and fixed your appearance. Now let us talk about breakfast. In English-speaking countries, we often talk about grabbing something. To grab usually means to hold something quickly. But when we talk about food or drinks, it means to consume it quickly because we are in a rush. If you are late for work, you do not sit down and drink a cup of coffee. You grab a coffee. You might hear people say, I just grabbed a piece of toast and ran out the door. Running out the door is a great expression. It does not mean you are physically running like an athlete. It means you left your house very quickly because you were short on time. So, let us put this all together in a fluent sentence. Listentoti. I woke up at 6, hit snooze twice, got ready quickly, grabbed a coffee, and ran out the door. That sounds very natural. Try to say that to yourself. Now that you have left your house, you are in the phase of the day we call the commute. This is a very important word for adults. Your commute is the journey from your home to your work or your school. We can use it as a noun or a verb. For example, you can say, my commute is terrible. That means the trip is long and difficult. Or you can say, I commute by train every day. Let us look at how to describe your transportation. We do not usually say I go by car. It is grammatically correct, but native speakers prefer to say I drive. Iti simple. I drive to work. If you do not drive, you might say I take the bus or I take the subway. If you live in London, you take the tube. If you live in New York, you take the train. And if you are lucky enough to live close to your office, you can say I walk to work. A more advanced way to say this is I go on foot. Now, what happens when there are too many cars on the road? We have a specific phrase for this. We say stuck in traffic. To be stuck means you cannot move. You are trapped. So, if you are late to a meeting, you can call your boss and say, I am so sorry, but I am stuck in traffic. It is the most common excuse in the world. We also talk about how long the journey takes. The grammar structure here is very important. We use the phrase it takes plus the time plus to get to. For example, it takes me 20 minutes to get to work. Or, it takes me 1 hour to get to school. This is much better than saying I need 1 hour. Use the verb take for time duration. Let us practice a full sentence about commuting. Imagine you are talking to a colleague. You could say, I usually drive to work. But today my car broke down, so I had to take the bus. It took almost an hour because we got stuck in traffic. Can you see how we are building a story? We are connecting the method of travel with the problem and the duration. If you use public transport, there is another phrasal verb you need. Get on and get off. You get on the bus when you enter it. You get off the bus when you exit it. Do not say enter the bus or exit the bus. That sounds like a robot. Humans say get on and get off. However, for a car, it is different. For a car, we say get in and get out. I know it is confusing, but here is a trick. If you can stand up and walk inside the vehicle, like a bus, train, or plane, use on. If you have to sit down immediately, like a car or taxi, use in. We have arrived at our destination. Now the work day begins. In English, we often refer to a standard full-time job as a 9 to 5. You might hear someone say, I am tired of my 9 to 5. This refers to the standard hours of working from 9 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon, even if you work different hours. We still use this phrase to describe a typical office job. When you are at work, you might have a very busy day. We have a great adjective for this, productive, if you get a lot of things done. You say, I had a very productive day. If you accomplished nothing, you might say I had a slow day or a lazy day. A common situation at work is attending meetings. If you have many meetings one after another with no break in between, we call this back-to-back meetings. You can say, I cannot talk right now. I have back-to-back meetings until 4 o'clock. This is a great phrase to make you sound like a busy professional. Around 12 or 1 o'clock, it is time for lunch. We have different ways to talk about this meal depending on what you do. If you cooked food at home and put it in a box to take to work, we call that a packed lunch. You can say, I brought a packed lunch today to save money. If you did not bring food, you might go out to a restaurant. A very casual way to suggest this to a coworker is to say, do you want to grab a bite? To grab a bite is slang for getting lunch. It implies it will be casual and quick. Sometimes you are too busy to eat. You might work through lunch. This means you stay at your desk and continue working while you eat. Or you skip eating entirely. It is not healthy, but it happens. If you are a student, your day looks a little different. You do not go to meetings. You go to classes or lectures. If you study very hard for a test, we use the idiom hit the books. It means to study intensely. For example, I cannot go to the party tonight because I have to hit the books. Let us pretend someone asks you, "How was your day at work?" Do not just say good. Use more descriptive words. You can say, "It was stressful. I had a deadline to meet." A deadline is the time by which you must finish something. Or you can say, "It was pretty relaxed. I just cleared out my inbox." Clearing out your inbox means replying to all your emails until there are none left. Now the work day is over, but the day is not finished. Before you can relax, you often have to do two things: chores and errands. These are two essential words for daily life. Let me explain the difference, because it is important. Errands are small tasks that you must do outside of your house. For example, going to the post office, going to the bank, picking up your dry cleaning, or going to the grocery store. We use the verb run with errands. We say, "I need to run some errands." We do not say do errands or make errands. Oui, runtem. Grocery shopping is the most common errand. This is when you buy food for your house. Note that we say grocery shopping for food, but just shopping if you are buying clothes or electronics. If you need to buy just one or two small things, we often use the phrasal verb pick up. For example, can you pick up some milk on your way home? This implies it is a quick stop. Chores are different. Chores are the boring tasks you do inside your house to keep it clean and organized. Everyone hates chores, but we have to do them. Here are the most common ones. Doing the laundry. This means washing your dirty clothes. Doing the dishes. This means washing your plates and cups. Vacuuming. This is cleaning the dust off the floor with a machine. Making the bed. This is organizing your pillows and blankets. Notice that for laundry and dishes, we use the verb do. I need to do the laundry. Do not say make the laundry. That is a very common mistake. However, for your bed, we say make. I need to make my bed. Let us talk about a frequency adverb that we often use with chores. That word is every other day. This means you do it one day, then you skip a day, then you do it again. For example, I wash my hair every other day. Or, I water my plants every other week. This is a very native way to describe your schedule. Imagine you are talking to a friend who wants to go to the movies. You cannot go because you are busy. You can say, "I would love to go, but I have a pile of laundry to do and I need to run to the supermarket." This is a perfect natural excuse. We have finally reached the best part of the day. Serve evening. You have finished your work, you have run your errands, and you have done your chores. Now it is time to relax. The best verb for this is unwind. To unwind means to release the tension and stress of the day. It is like a coil that is tight, and you are letting it become loose. You can say, I like to unwind by listening to jazz music. Or I unwind by taking a long hot bath. What do you do for dinner? If you enjoy cooking, you can say, I made dinner from scratch. From scratch means you used fresh ingredients. You did not use a microwave meal or a can. But if you are tired, you might order in. Ordering in means calling a restaurant or using an app to have food delivered to your house. We also call this getting takeout. So you might say, I am too exhausted to cook. Let us just order Chinese food. After dinner, many people become what we call a couch potato. A couch potato is a funny idiom for someone who sits on the sofa for a long time watching TV and doing nothing. It is okay to be a couch potato sometimes. You might binge watch a series. Binge watching is a modern term. It means watching many episodes of a TV show one after another without stopping. You might say, I stayed up all night binge watching that new show on Netflix. Finally, it is time to sleep. We have so many ways to say this in English. You can say go to bed, which is standard. But if you want to sound like a native, you can say I am going to hit the hay, or I am going to hit the sack. These are old idioms from when beds were made of hay or sacks. But we still use them today. If you are extremely tired, you can use strong adjectives. Do not just say very tired. Say I am exhausted. Premier am drened. Premier am worn out. You can say I had such a long day, I am absolutely shattered. Shattered is very common in British English. When you get into bed, you hope to fall asleep quickly. If you sleep very deeply, we say you slept like a log. A log is a heavy piece of wood from a tree. If you sleep like a log, you do not move and you do not wake up. If you fall asleep immediately, we say I was out like a light. We have learned a massive amount of vocabulary today. We covered getting up, commuting, working, chores, errands, and sleeping. But knowing the words is not enough. You need to be able to connect them into a fluid story. This is the difference between a beginner and an intermediate speaker. A beginner lists facts. An intermediate speaker tells a story. To do this, you need sequencing words. These are words that show the order of events. The most common ones are first, then, next, after that, and finally. Let me show you the difference. A beginner says, I woke up. I ate breakfast. Première went to work. Première kam home. Première est sleepte. This is correct, but it sounds like a robot. Iti boring. Now, listen to the advanced version using sequencing words. First, I woke up and got ready. Then, I grabbed a quick breakfast. After that, I drove to work, but the traffic was bad. Next, I had a really productive day at the office. Finally, I came home, ordered some pizza, and binged my favorite show before hitting the sack. Can you hear how much better that sounds? It flows. It has rhythm. This is how I want you to practice. I also want to touch on frequency. We use adverbs to say how often we do things. Always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, and never. The position of these words is important. They usually go before the main verb. I always brush my teeth. I usually drive to work. but they go after the verb to be. I am always tired. I am usually happy. There is one more phrase I want to teach you before we finish. It is the phrase call it a night. We use this when we want to stop what we are doing and go to bed. If you are studying late, you can look at the clock and say, "Okay, I am going to call it a night." It means I am finished for today. So, I think I am going to call it a night on this lesson. I want you to practice these phrases. Do not just listen to me. Speak out loud. Talk to yourself while you are making coffee. Describe your commute while you are driving. Say, I am currently stuck in traffic. Narrate your life. This is the fastest way to fluency. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep practicing, stay curious, and I will see you in the next class.